All right, guys, so the biggest moments of the debate that everybody's talking about right now and that may have had the biggest impact, although I don't think, in a VP debate, I honestly don't think much matters, period. I think it's a wash almost no matter what happens. But to the extent people are talking about any moments, this is probably the biggest one. Maybe it's a tie with the abortion one, but actually, I think I'm going to get to that. Yeah, I'll get to that in just a second, too. I'm going to put both in this. But here they are talking about the 2020 election, January 6th, election denialism, and this is just a brutal, devastating moment for J.D. Vance because he has been put in an unwinnable situation. He needs to go right along with the boss man who says he still won the last election. If he doesn't do that, he's going to get an angry phone call. You might even get kicked off of the ticket for RFK or whatever, right? But at the same time, this is undermining his seriousness, right? Like, the fact that he's willing to lie about this shit means he's Satan, right? But on the flip side, he can't not lie about it because then he ruins his current political future. So if Trump loses, I need everybody to understand, if Trump loses, J.D. Vance is so toast politically. Like, he's just so donezo because Trump will probably blame J.D. Vance, right? He's not going to take the blame himself. Well, he'll say he won, but then beyond that, he'll go on to, like, blame J.D. Vance. So MAGA will turn on him. But again, there's no winning. It's just, if you lie about it, you're lying. And this is fucking evil and wrong, and it's a preposterous lie. If you don't lie about it, you piss off the only people right now that still like you, which is MAGA. So rock in a hard place, and Tim Walz just nails him on this one. Here we go.
He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
It's a damning non-answer for you to not talk about censorship.
Look, that was so inartful in terms of trying to pivot and obfuscate that everybody saw through it. It's the most direct question in the world. Did he lose the 2020 election? I'm looking at the future. I'm not looking at the past. And censorship is bad and wrong. And the Democrats censor. And the Democrats censor. By the way, we've been through the laundry list of ways that Trump hates the First Amendment. He hates free speech. He hates a free press. He's pro-censorship. He launched Truth Social and they started censoring on Truth Social, right? He said we should put people in jail for a year if they burn the American flag. That's literally a cornerstone free speech case in this country. He sued CNN for $475 million because they dared to call Trump's 2020 election lies the big lie. He sued over that. And of course he lost. He says he wants to deport pro-Palestine protesters. Trump is pro-censorship. The two things that trigger me the most in today's day and age when it comes to politics are the lies that Trump is somehow anti-censorship and Trump is somehow anti-war. These are the biggest falsehoods and worst, most incorrect narratives of all time, and you will see so many fucking morons run with it. No matter how many times you correct them, they don't care. But putting that aside again, all you have to do is say, yes, he lost the election, but he can't do it because he knows he's going to get an angry phone call. So he humiliates himself and embarrasses himself and drags him down to a pathetic new low to humiliate himself in front of the millions of people and say, bro, we look to the future, bro. We look to the future and stuff, bro. All right, one more time. Here we go.
He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of...
Look at Tim's face. He's like, I can't believe you couldn't just say it. I can't believe you couldn't just say it. This is that face of like, this was a layup for you and you couldn't do it.
The 2020 COVID situation.
That is a damning non-answer.
It's a damning non-answer for you to not talk about censorship. Obviously, Donald Trump and I think that there were problems in 2020.
He's equating like Facebook and Twitter doing content moderation with trying to overturn a free and fair election. I mean, beyond idiocy.
Attack us for not believing in democracy. The most sacred right under the United States democracy is the First Amendment. You yourself have said there's no First Amendment right to misinformation. Kamala Harris wants to use the power of government and big tech to silence people from speaking their minds. That is a threat to democracy that will long outlive this present political moment. I would like Democrats and Republicans to both reject censorship. Let's persuade one another. Let's argue about ideas, and then let's come together afterwards.
You can't yell fire in a crowded theater. That's the test. That's the Supreme Court test.
Tim, fire in a crowded theater. You guys wanted to kick people off of Facebook for saying that toddlers shouldn't wear masks.
Senator, the governor does have the floor.
Fire in a crowded theater. That is criticizing the policies of the government, which is the right of every American.
Senator, the governor does have the floor for 1 minute to respond to you.
Yeah. Well, I don't run Facebook. What I do know is I see a candidate out there who refused, and now again, and this I'm pretty shocked by this. He lost the election. This is not a debate. It's not anything anywhere other than in Donald Trump's world. Because look, when Mike Pence made that decision to certify that election, that's why Mike Pence isn't on this stage. Ooh. What I'm concerned about is, where is the firewall with Donald Trump? Where is the firewall if he knows he could do anything, including taking an election, and his vice president's not going to stand to it? That's what we're asking you, America. Will you stand up? Will you keep your oath of office, even if the president doesn't? And I think Kamala Harris would agree. She wouldn't have picked me if she didn't think I would do that, because of course that's what we would do. So America, I think you've got a really clear choice on this election of who's going to honor that democracy and who's going to honor Donald Trump.
That line of, that's why Mike Pence is not on this stage. Oh, that's a brutal line. And I have to say, again, this is a consistent problem with J.D. Vance. He is far too online and far too immersed in weird right-wing conspiratorial bubbles, right? So in his mind, he thinks like, bro, Russell Brand is going to give me credit if I say the thing about censorship on social media. But like, I got news for you. Russell Brand is not the person you should be trying to convince. It's the independents and the moderates and the swing voters. So yes, this might be a lay epic burn on some fucking 4chan message board, right? Or some weird right-wing podcast where they jack each other off all day and have conversations about having conversations. That's my favorite one, right? We like to have conversations, bro. We're all about free speech and free open exchange of ideas, bro. Anyway, let's all agree about how great Trump is. Trump is so great, bro. Like, yeah, you're impressing those people. You're not impressing the people you need to win the election. That was the most inartful dodge of all fucking time. And as I already pointed out, the idea Trump is anti-censorship and going to save the First Amendment is preposterous. He's one of the most anti-First Amendment presidents we've ever had. And by the way, I love his, he was like, I don't run Facebook. Are you gonna condemn the Facebook censorship? I don't run Facebook. And by the way, also, can we just say, weird time to be making these kinds of arguments when fucking Nazi propaganda is now a daily occurrence on Twitter. I think a lot of people are now looking at this like, I'd like a little more content moderation. I'm not sure I want to see like a compilation called The Best of Adolf Hitler, right? Oh my God. All right, but that was, I think this is probably the biggest moment of the debate, the one people are talking about the most. But then you also have Tim Walz did a number on J.D. Vance when it came to the issue of abortion. The two issues were Tim Walz was the strongest, abortion and the January 6th election denialism type stuff. And then he also did really good on healthcare. But let's watch the abortion part. Here we go.
Former President Trump said in the last debate that you believe abortion, quote, in the 9th month is absolutely fine. Yes or no? Is that what you support? I'll give you 2 minutes.
That's not what the bill says. But look, this issue is what's on everyone's mind. Donald Trump put this all into motion. He brags about how great it was that he put the judges in and overturned Roe versus Wade, 52 years of personal autonomy. And then he tells us, oh, we send it to the states. It's a beautiful thing. Amanda Zaworski would disagree with you on it's a beautiful thing. A young bride in Texas waiting for their child at 18 weeks. She has a complication, a tear in the membrane. She needs to go in. The medical care at that point needs to be decided by the doctor. And that would have been an abortion. But in Texas, that would have put them in legal jeopardy. She went home, got sepsis, nearly dies, and now she may have difficulty having children. Or in Kentucky, Hadley Duvall, a 12-year-old child raped and impregnated by her stepfather. Those are horrific. Now, when God asked about that, Senator Vance said 2 wrongs don't make a right. There is no right in this. So in Minnesota, what we did was restore Roe versus Wade. We made sure that we put women in charge of their health care. But look, this is not, if you don't know Amanda or a Hadley, you soon will. Their Project 2025 is going to have a registry of pregnancies. It's going to make it more difficult, if not impossible, to get contraception and limit access, if not eliminate access to infertility treatments. For so many of you out there listening, me included, infertility treatments are why I have a child. That's nobody else's business, but those things are being proposed. And the catch-all on this is, well, the states will decide what's right for Texas might not be right for Washington. That's not how this works. This is basic human right. We have seen maternal mortality skyrocket in Texas, outpacing many other countries in the world. This is about healthcare. In Minnesota, we are ranked first in healthcare for a reason. We trust women. We trust doctors.
He also goes on to make his classic argument of like, look, man, this is about freedom. Get the government out of our fucking personal lives. And then J.D. Vance goes on to lie brazenly about his position and his past positions on abortion. He said like, bro, I never supported an abortion ban. I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. Literally, the the policy page on his website before he was picked for VP says he's, and I quote, 100% pro-life. 100%. He was on right-wing podcasts saying it should be illegal for a woman to travel from a red state to a blue state to get reproductive health care. He said that. All the shitty, dumb, weird positions about ban no-fault divorce and ban IVF, he took all of those positions. He literally said that if a wife is in an abusive relationship with her husband, she should stay in that relationship. This guy's an extremist. He joined some weird far-right Catholic cult in his fucking 30s, right? Don't let him play hide the ball on this, bro. Do not let him play hide the ball. He has these horrible beliefs. Also, he virtue signals like, I'm for childcare and things of that nature, bro. I'm for extending the child tax credit. I want to make it $5,000. Then they just had a vote in the Senate on extending the child tax credit. He didn't even show up for the vote. And every Republican voted against extending the child tax credit. These guys are liars. He tried to split the difference on abortion in this debate where he's like, bro, like, you know, whatever, Republicans maybe messed up a little bit, but like, bro, we'll earn back your trust us. So like, trust us, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, we're good. We're cool. We're cool, bro. We're cool. It's not working. And Tim Walz clocked him over the head again and again and again and again. Oh, and the other thing he did is I can't believe they still try to do this. You guys look embarrassing when you do this. He tried to be like, well, but Tim, don't you support murdering babies? You support murdering babies, bro. How about that? 9th month abortion, bro. What these guys don't understand, first of all, it's like 95 or 98% of abortions in this country happen before 20 weeks, pre-fetal viability. So that's an important fact that people don't bring up, right? In the rare instances where there is a late-term abortion, it is always because of some extenuating circumstance. Because, oh my God, the fetus isn't going to make it. It's terminal. It's going to die, right? Or the mother is going to die. Those are the only late-term abortions. But they make it seem like there are these psychos out there who are like, bro, I'm just going to wait until a day before the baby's supposed to be born, and then I'm going to brutally massacre it. That doesn't happen. Guys, they have such a low opinion of women making decisions for their own bodies. They think it's like they do abortion for sport. They think it's like funsies for them. Like, let's go watch a movie and get an abortion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. All right. I guess we'll do a little more on this. Here we go.
Donald Trump has been very clear that on the abortion policy specifically, that we have a big country and it's diverse. And California has a different viewpoint on this than Georgia. Georgia has a different viewpoint from Arizona. And the proper way to handle this, as messy as democracy sometimes is to let voters make these decisions, let the individual states make their abortion policy. And I think that's what makes the most sense in a very big, a very diverse, and let's be honest, sometimes a very, very messy and divided country.
That is such a chicken shit position. I honestly have more respect for the people who are more extreme in their anti-abortion take. Because they're saying, hold on now, if you say abortion is murder, why would you say, well, leave whether or not to legalize murder up to the individual states? If 25 states want to greenlight murder, I'm cool with that, bro. That's such a chicken shit position. And Tim Walz's position is, no, this is a fundamental human right, and we need to restore Roe versus Wade. That's his position. The J.D. Vance position, he's a fucking chameleon. Now he's in a general election. He was one of the hardcore super pro-life people, like Lila Rose and them, and then now it's, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, leave it up to the states and the beauty of democracy, bro. Like, come on, man. What a joke. What a joke. All right, so there you have it. These were the worst moments for J.D. Vance, and these are probably the ones that people are talking about the most, which says something. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.